Hey guys, what is going on? RedMaster here, and welcome back to another episode of Cards and Castles Ranked with Red. Now, before we jump into this, there is going to be a whole lot of issues with the way this video is done, and that's thanks to trouble I had with this bad boy right here. Now, when I recorded the first 4 matches for this episode, nothing really happened that really frightened me, except when I went to go ahead and check the audio just to see how things were going. This came back very muffled, and there was basically no commentary over it. Couldn't find out the initial problem with it, so I, in a rash decision, recorded the last match using a different microphone, the one that we've had previous complaints about, previous issues with. So unfortunately that bad boy is back for our last matchup here. But thankfully I was actually able to figure out said issue before I had, I took a little bit more time to look at it, and well, lo and behold, the issue is solved. However, that does leave the issue of the first 4 matches with no audio. So what we're going to be doing today, we are going to be doing sort of a unusual hybrid of Ranked with Red and TV commentary. I'm going to be doing commentary of my own matches just to give them a bit more audio and a bit more life to them, because I mean there is virtually no audio on those clips. So yeah, not something I want to throw at you guys and just have weird low tone, low to no audio gameplay. And for the 5th match, we'll just play it as it is. I mean, the audio isn't really bad on there. It's just you'll hear a little bit of static or a little bit of like robotic tones in it, every once in a while. But I don't think it's gonna be super bad. We'll hopefully do the first 4 matches with this mic, and then we'll use the other one for the other microphone for our final matchup. You'll hear that. You'll kind of get what I mean. For those of you who might be newer and not understand what I'm talking about, you'll see it in the 5th match. But yeah, so just a quick recap before we jump into this. What's having audio troubles? We'll do first 4 matches as a weird commentary hybrid. The last match will have some unfortunate weird audio to it, but hopefully that should not be a problem. But other than that, still going to be Ranked with Red, and we will be ranking the Crusader Warlock Awaken deck. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into match number 1. Alright, so match number 1, it's going to be up against Visaya Mel. So of course, we got some Viking Ninja Dragon shenanigans in this play the match, please. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and cycle out those expensive cards. We pick up Lumberjack, Imp, Rat King, and Swords. A nice 1, 2, 3, 4 combination there. He's going to open up with a Lumberjack, so we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing. Of course, it just makes sense at that point. Hopefully, maybe get some traded draws. Hopefully pick up something good as well. We're going to go ahead and pick up a Darkbender, which not really useful now, but we do run into a Masuda, so we'll go ahead and play the Imp in hopes of burning that off with the Awakened damage. I do not think we actually make it, though, if I remember correctly. We'll see in a moment. And in the meantime, he lays down a trap, which turns out will be Secret Dragon. I take the risk and go ahead and hit with Rat King just to kind of proc it and see if it is Secret Dragon, knowing that this player is one very known for his dragon deck, or per se, like his use of solely Viking Ninja dragons. So we do reveal the Secret Dragon that will go ahead and be turned out to be a Shadow Drake, which we can deal with. I think the only thing we weren't going to be able to deal with was a Green Drake, I think, maybe. But we, of course, take it out right there, and then we also have 2 rats to kind of make our way into the next turn. He does throw out the Shadow Drake that he does throw out a Shadow Drake from the cost reduction from the Masuda. We will hit with 1 damage for the rat, maybe hoping to run into said Shadow Drake. We do not get it, however. We will leave the other rat looking to attack the castle for next turn, as you can see there. I think I'm cutting out my own face cam, but I'm trying to decide whether or not to move him up or down or whatever. Anyway, we do run into the Dragon Temple and the Shadow Drake, and here's where I start getting fears that we could be run into a potential Aeroth, which Aeroth would be pretty much the correct tool to use here. Swoop in, knock out the Dark Bender, and that leaves me in not so good positions. So I'm going to go ahead and Blue Firebolt the Shadow Drake just to kind of get rid of that threat. We'll coin into the books for some additional cards, and of course use the Rat to squeak out and damage just a little bit by 1 point. And yeah, I do at this point start getting fears of a potential Aeroth here. We do see the Ice Drake come out, not only buffed by Dragon Search, but by the Dragon Temple as well. So again, that can take out my Dark Bender, and I really have no way of countering it. And of course, the fact that he puts it there doesn't help my fears at all. He thinks I'm still going to Aeroth. So in response, I believe we go ahead and hit Rat above, right? Yep, just like that. Moving the books to attack for an additional 3. And I think maybe, yeah, we retreat the Dark Bender, we pull out the Swords, and Lumberjack, I believe, is the go-to play here. Let me just see, I think I am correct, right? Yep, and then the Lumberjack goes, alright, well, he goes down, but still, he gets thrown out on the field. And of course, I'm looking to do some big damage. Hopefully actually end the game, was my mentality here. If he wasn't able to get rid of things like the books and the Rat, I would have been able to just completely max out the swords, the dancing swords here with the Saurus to deal just enough damage to end the game. And for a time, it actually looked like I was going to do that, as you'll see in this next play here. We do run into a bit of trouble, unfortunately, with the Stone Dragon statue. Pulls out a Green Drake, which unfortunately not my favorite unit to see there, considering he does get buffed by the Ice Drake. But that's not really the part that throws me off here. We do see the Ice Drake, or at least it will come up momentarily here. Knock out that Rat, and then we see the Green Drake move up 1, and a Cloak of Ice gets thrown on to block the swords from coming in. The book's, of course, frozen in its path there. I don't have a Grotesque or Sacrifice to move it, so unfortunately I'm not able to end the game yet. I'm hoping to actually, well, you'll see here, kind of risky on my part, but, you know, I wanted the Dancing Sword kill to kind of move on. And I'm going to go ahead and risk Darkbender to do that here. You're going to see I'm hitting the Ice Drake, where maybe I should have held the Darkbender back. Although, in my mind, I'm still thinking that Aeroth is still a real deal, considering where he's putting those Drakes. So I do decide I need to start taking out Drakes to kind of even it out. I notice its hand count. It's only at 3 as opposed to my 5. So I'm hoping to maybe push some additional units in. I do bring out another Swords. I move up my Lumberjack very aggressively here just to see what he can do. You know, whatever that might be. The swords, the books are still frozen. We do see Green Drake actually make an attack here. Kind of obvious to go for the Darkbender kill there. But of course, actually, nothing else comes out of that turn, which is surprising. But we're not able to really capitalize on any of it. We didn't really move our swords in a position to hit castle. We weren't able to really do anything with the Lumberjack here, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and end up chipping the Dragon Temple just a little bit there. And of course, we're going to try and maybe divert this Green Drake a little bit. We still have to remember he's got Cloak of Ice, so I don't want to lose any sort of units to freeze. I'm surprised he still left the books here as well, but to each their own. I do throw out, I think, a Priest here at this turn, and I think I call it a turn at that. I don't want to waste a Dragon's Fire, and Saurus isn't really going to get any sort of value just by repopping the 2 Dancing Swords. You can't really attack anything as of now, so I decided to kind of just hold back a little bit. That Green Drake will be an issue, but I'm hoping to maybe take it out in the next turn. And I think the only thing I did was the Lumberjack chip on the Dragon Temple. Just kind of get that down, maybe kind of get it out of there, you know, with whatever I've got. Yenneroth does come out after a Green Drake retreat, though. That does take out one of my Dancing Swords, as you can see there. Or at least takes a minute before he does it. And there it is. So I lose one of my Dancing Swords. His Green Drake stays back to freeze my books yet again. I do actually throw ahead and throw this Priest up. I will do throw out another Priest a bit more aggressively this time, considering that we've got the Green Drake frozen there. I'm thinking maybe I can hit the Green Drake real quick, and then of course Dragonfire to get it off the board. But I think he actually, what does he have for this? I know I don't keep that Priest. Actually, no, I do keep the Priest, right? Oh yeah, Dragon Siege. Dragon Siege was the card. So of course his Drakes get a bit more, Dragons get a bit more stronger, to the point where even if I hit Priest, it's not going to matter. And the second Green Drake does come out to block for the Cloak of Ice one, which I think is a good move. I do see Headwood and Saurus, though, in my hand, so I'm going to go ahead and use that combination. Unfortunately, it doesn't really connect on the side that I want to. It does hit the Yenneroth instead of the Green Drakes. I needed the second Green Drake hit to really make that work, but we didn't get it, unfortunately. So I think what I do here is I sack Priest into the Green Drake to weaken him further. I think I just put Saurus in a weird position. I don't remember where I did. and I think both priests going a bit more aggressive. I could have held the bottom priest back, I think, in my, looking back in the match here. Because that's going to get killed right by Yenneroth, as you'll see in the next turn. But I think Saurus goes up. Yep, he goes up and around. And Priest, yeah, it takes a minute, but I do eventually sack him into the Green Drake. Which I think actually turns out to be maybe a better play later down the line here, as you'll see once we get further into it. But my book's, of course, still frozen. I was able to get some extra draw from that, too, and it kind of surprises me that he keeps the books down for that long. I get it. It's a body block to castle that I physically can't remove, so I have to push in from the sides. But still, leaving a book to maybe redraw is a bit risky in my opinion. But not everyone expects the Crusader Awaken, the Crusader Warlock Awaken deck. So maybe he wasn't looking for Saurus. But we do get the priest kill on the Yenneroth from the Yenneroth there, as you can see, and then we move into Shadow Drake. Yeah, it was another Shadow Drake, so at this point I think I had to pop at least one of the Dragon's Fire. Face of the Dragon actually shows up, makes a big impact. That Green Drake becomes a whole lot scarier than previously, thought. I thought I was going to maybe get rid of it with the Dragon's Fire, but I was dead wrong, and we do see a 14-10 Green Drake. Which, yeah, pain in my ass for sure, but I think we are going to be able to get rid of it, as you'll see momentarily. I do actually pop one of the Dragon's Fires in response to that Yenneroth losing just enough to, make at least the Dragon Fire worthwhile. I also reveal the Shadow Drake is right there as well, so I'm going to move up swords, as you'll see in a moment. I think I consult just with Saurus. Well, actually, no. I don't use Saurus yet, but I do take out the Shadow Drake, and I think I don't know what I did with Saurus. I might have sacked him. I didn't play the Rat King, did I? No. Oh, I did. Okay. Oh, you know what? Yeah, because I still had the goddamn Aeroth fear. And the fact that he had a 14-10 Green Drake in blue-purple meant if those two cards were multi-strike and Aeroth, if I left an open castle, it would have been game over. So, that's why I played the Rat King, to create a body block. So, the worst I expected to take was a Lightning Blade here. Doesn't turn out to be the case, but you'll see momentarily what does pop out from Visea's hand. Yeah, at this point I'm just sweating the eventual Aeroth multi-strike. I know both of those cards are probably in his deck somewhere. I do enter a Yarm Giant, which is a nice sort of trade there for both of us. But unfortunately, I lose a lot of the body block. But in hindsight, I mean, he wasn't able to get additional castle damage in because he only had 1 gold after that Yarm play. From here, I do actually pop the other Dragon's Fire. I forgot that Green Drake loses that 2/2 buff when he's got no other Drake. So this does kill both Drakes. I just pop it because I didn't think that was gonna happen, but it does. So I'm a little happier now that worked out. Do push up a wizard and a rat to kind of follow up. We do run into sudden death, and pretty much a wizard to face is the end of the game, really. And there, Visea surrenders, not able to deal with said wizard. So I do take that first win of the series, and of course from there we jump into match number 2. So with that being said, let's jump into match number 2. Alright, and so our next match is against a name that I will not try to pronounce because that is a lot of letters. And we are going up against, believe, another Warlock Crusader deck here. And this one actually is a little quicker than the last one, as you'll see in just a moment here. We're going to cycle out, of course, our more expensive cards here. We are left with Priest, Rat King, and Blue Firebolt to kind of start us off here. I do see that Lumberjack come in. I am not going to bother intercepting with a Metal Priest, because I feel like that would be a waste of a resource there. I do play the Priest, but just not use the Metal for it. I go ahead, summon the Priest. I could have done maybe a Lumberjack Priest, I know that, but again, I wanted to hold on to the Metal for some reason. I just felt like the Metal was, not something I should throw out right away here. And I think I accepted taking the Salahar damage anyway, which he actually doesn't do, I believe, here. Instead, he has another Lumberjack to attempt to make a trade with my Priest here, but I just do my second. So now is where I bring out the Lumberjack-Priest combination here to survive that Lumberjack trade. And, of course, there is the connection, right? There it goes. And of course, I move my Lumberjack and Priest a bit more aggressively. At this point, I start to get the idea that he's got a last will deck since he retreated his Salahar Rider and he brought out 2 Lumberjacks. Definitely think there's some last will shenanigans here. So I'm trying to get this Lumberjack across before an Andrew pops out and benefits from my Lumberjack. So Salahar Rider kills off the weakened Priest. Actually, both Priests get killed off thanks to that last will from the Salahar Rider. So that was a good, that was a fortunate scenario for him. Wizard comes out here, and when I respond with a blue firebolt, I feel like that's probably the most appropriate. I could have maybe thrown out the Dark Bender, but I didn't want to risk that Wizard getting any sort of big buffs and being a problem later on. So blue fire that right away, no big deal. We do run into a Divine Knowledge on his end. I don't know if that gets him anything super useful. Oh yeah, Chaotic Storm. So it does take out my Lumberjack and does do a little bit of castle damage in the process, but in response, I throw out the Sentry Golem. Since I know some of these last will decks tend to be a bit more burn heavy, I think Golem is the best choice here. It has that deflect after all, so it's not going to be affected by things like Disintegrate, Blue Firebolt, Arc Fire, Fear. Nothing like that can work, and it actually pays off quite well, I believe, here. As he just completely passes his turn, not using any goals, so that gives me an excuse to just rush in here with a Saurus, power him up to an 8-11. If he wasn't able to handle a 4-8 Golem, no way he's dealing with an 8-11 Golem. So that just goes right on his face there. I'm hoping maybe to move in Saurus and Golem next turn with the Blacksmith and the game. He does have Fear, which of course pushes back the Saurus just a little bit there, but actually nothing to follow up with, right? Yeah, again, nothing to follow up with in that turn, so, you know, I feel like in this scenario, you at least have to throw out something to act as a decoy for your castle, because now I can just do this 9 damage here, and you can see I move in the Dark Bender to to create a scenario where no matter what he does or if what he takes out, there will be something to hit lethal damage. Do you see a Horseman come out, hit the Blacksmith? That was the last thing he was hoping for. I think Horseman does a Golem trade, right? Yep, or a Golem sacrifice, really. I don't think he's got any other moves. Oh yeah, he arc fires my Dark Bender twice, but then this weird sort of error pops up where he... Oh, wait, I didn't... Hold on. I didn't realize he arc fired his own castle. Is that what happened? No, you can't arc fire your own castle. So what the hell was the arc fire do? Regardless, he surrendered or miss arc fire, which I don't think you can do. But yeah, that was the quick game ender for that matchup. I think it was just unfortunate he didn't really draw anything super useful in his hand. Must have been because he passed, nearly 2 full turns worth of potential moves. So you tell by that, the hand must have not have been super strong. But anyways, I was feeling good. Win the second matchup. So right now we are currently at a 2-0. So let's go ahead and jump into match number 3 to see how that one went. Alright, so our third match, is going to be a little bit cut off here as we've got a little bit of, yes, I jumped into the matchup without hitting record right away. You guys didn't miss a whole lot. I rushed the Lumberjack to the front, he countered with Priest, and now here we are back on my turn 3. I'm going to go ahead and respond with a Priest of my own just to see if maybe I can, of course, avoid killing off his Priest with my Priest, making an unnecessary Priest trade where I can easily just get rid of it with Dancing Swords and maybe just avoid it. He has other plans, though. He will actually go for the Priest kill right over there. He'll respond with an Unholy Altar, which, a bit strange, but okay, we can deal with it. Gonna bring out a Dancing Swords and just pass it back to him. He, of course, will start spawning those zombies. And I think he coins out a Vampire here, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, there's the coin, and there is, the Vampire. So that kind of... in my mind, I'm thinking maybe this is some kind of pure undead build, which will be an interesting conflict nonetheless here. I'm going to go ahead and respond by just hitting the Vampire and bringing out a Golem to avoid... Again, we are facing another Warlock Crusader, so in my head, I'm thinking Burns, Fear, won't really work on Golems too much. He doesn't really have the proper defenses. So I think he responds by just pulling out a Flying Books and moving up the zombies, which gives me an opportunity to Dragon's Fire right then and there. We'll see that go down right over there. Golem hits for face, not a whole lot, but then I throw it back to him regardless because I just use him while I go with Dragon's Fire. He brings up another Vampire to really not do a whole lot of damage. He does weaken the Golem, but not have to kill it with the Vampire, and he just kind of sits there. I bring out a Saurus, I believe, not before playing an Imp, as my following turn to get a real just big Awaken turn out of the Saurus. So yeah, I do hit the Vampire for 2, and of course Golem gets an 8/7 boost, which I actually go ahead and hit the Unholy Altar with, just because I have the fear of maybe that becoming a bit of a problem if this is a pure undead build. I want to shut off the Swarm at the source. So I go ahead and hit that right over there. Saurus goes to block for the incoming Vampire. Imp does his thing at the bottom there. He actually responds pretty nicely with a takedown of the Golem with a Bard Armory combination there. You do see the Zombie and Vampire getting buffs accordingly. Even though I had the idea that he probably could have used the Bard to kill the Golem, I guess he wanted to save the buffs, which again kind of indicates that you want maybe, or at least he's got some sort of swarm buff focused deck. I did bring up a Darkbender to maybe see if I can create some lethal damage here with the swords and Darkbender. Unfortunately, that's not going to work out for me too well because I do run into my old friend Arcanon, the Lord of Chaos. I do take it out though quite efficiently without really wasting any of my cards in hand. I believe I just go for a... I don't go for a Saurus. I go for a sword. I move the swords, hit Darkbender on Lord of Chaos, and trade the swords for the remaining damage to ensure that I can get rid of it. And then I pull off my big mistake of the game here and throw out Kraxus a little bit too aggressively here. He actually manages to have a Kraxus of his own right off the top there. And of course, maybe not off the top, but Kraxus does certainly come out, kills my Kraxus and gives him draw without giving me draw. I'm starting to panic and getting a little bit annoyed. But I try to go for a Saurus here to see if maybe I can burn off the Kraxus's armor to kill off, or to give the Darkbender a bit of a better kill. Unfortunately, I don't have that option, and of course I'm forced to use at least one of my units here to make the trade. Give him some additional cards here, but the benefit is I do have a lot of units on board here, so I'm pretty happy about that. I think he just takes a turn, brings out an Arbor to kill off the Darkbender, following up with a Lumberjack. Again, not too exciting, but the Headwood will pop, so I do manage to hit off not the castle. I managed to hit off both the Armory and Lumberjack, so I cleared off the board pretty well there, and of course I think I have the advantage when it comes to the units, but not the hand. I like to think of it that way anyway. I move up the Saurus, create the Lumberjack, and keep the other two where they are. I think he openly responds with another Kraxus and a Priest, which gets me really annoyed, considering that now he's going to get even more cards in his hand because I don't really have the proper way to take out this Kraxus. I try to trick him into maybe moving the Priest up front to kill the Lumberjack and hit Kraxus on face, but he clearly wants to draw more. He goes for the Kraxus kill here and moves up the Darkbender and Priest as well. And me not really having a whole lot of options here, I'm a little bit annoyed, but I think I managed to pull it off quite well, I think. What am I doing? I do kill off the Kraxus, but again, pretty poorly in my opinion. I do have to forcibly use the Wizard, make that hit there, and forcibly use both Mordok and the Saurus to make connection. Even though I could have probably gone for an Imp Saurus, for some reason I was thinking maybe I can rush the Mordok in. Horseman on Darkbender to kill off the Darkbender from a combination of the initiative damage and the Horseman, but that was a lot to bank on. I do take out the the Armory though to kind of soften the blow a little bit here to put us on even grounds when it comes to stats. I do take out the Kraxus there now without giving up a Mordok though, and that does bring out a Banshee, which I used to kind of hit the Darkbender here just because I have no better option. I probably could have done the Priest, but you know, I just block with the Imp and call the turn. I believe that's... Oh, I don't even block with the Imp. My bad. I retreat him. I don't want to just lose him to the Darkbender. That's right. I will get killed off, or at least the Banshee will get killed off, by the Darkbender. I don't get killed off yet. By Synchronized Strike, I do get a Synchronized Strike pull from the dead Banshee. He brings up a Lore Master to kind of make things, interesting, I guess. But, and I think he plays a Trap and Shroud of the Red Cloaks onto this Priest here, which you can see he's going to go ahead and do some additional damage here. In the meantime, though, I'm thinking what that trap might be. If it's a Verdict or a Detonate, I better, of course, kill off something in the back to not trigger the explosion on my territory. I hit the Lore Master, not a Verdict nor a Detonate, which I find a little bit confusing here, until I attack with the Rat King and realize he's got a deflecting shield in his corner there. Does create a 3/10 Priest. I start knocking it down a little bit. I do have enough to kill it, but not without using a lot of rats. I'm just going to go ahead and skip past. It's just basically all the rats in the Rat King and then 2 additional rats from the next Rat King. And of course, I position the rest of them in a way to maybe get a little bit aggressive here. I'm not super sure where my head was at here, but In response, one of those lumberjacks, or one of the rats dies from the lumberjack. A second Darkbender comes out, I believe. Yep, and the White Knight. This Darkbender actually scoots up, which is one of his big mistakes in the matchup. Considering I have Synchronized Strike, I think maybe that's a great opportunity for me to kind of lunge out here and maybe hit a couple things. Until I pull the Morlock, and I get very excited because I can do a lot with that. I do Wizard onto the White Knight first, I believe. Opens up the summoning space for Morlock to come in. I do hit Wizard first to avoid lifesteal shenanigans from the White Knight after playing the Synchro Strike onto all of my units. And of course, the rats will be able to take down the Darkbender. Yep, Morlock hits there. I pull out a Wraith, which I find is to be a pretty stronger pull, considering it's got the most health and probably will help me out a lot going into later in the match. I think I put the Wraith in above Morlock, right, and I hit the Darkbender. Push him back a little bit, maybe see if he can die from the other rats that are on the board. And I throw it back to him. I believe he does the smart thing, of course, Darkbender Morlock, to avoid me getting any more undead units, which is the right thing to do. I think he goes Books and Loremaster. Book, Loremaster, and Fear, right? Let me just double check. Yep, Loremaster. Books traded with the rat up here. Loremaster comes down here. Fears the Wraith back, which honestly doesn't do a whole lot considering Imp and Wizard are blocking the Fear path right there. Because Wraith can't really move in any of these two spots. So it goes back to me. I end up playing a strong Books Priest play, I believe. I pull out both Books, bring out the Priest to avoid any sort of Dragon's Fire kill on my draw. I believe I connect the Wraith to the Books, the Imp to the Castle, and the Rat to the Darkbender to kind of bring this game to a tie, or at least make it closer than it was previously. In response, our opponent here doesn't really have a lot, surprisingly, for this. He ends up bringing the Darkbender up to Armory above here, which will give him a 5-1 Darkbender. He connects that to the Wraith. Not enough to kill my Wraith, though. Hi, I'm still here. How you doing? And I believe he responds with a White Knight kill on that Wraith, right? Yeah, Wraith gets killed off by the Darkbender. White Knight moves up. Loremaster comes in, kills off the Imp, has to leave my rat alone. But the game does turn out to be over at this point because of what the books magically bring me. Not only one, but two Rites of Awakening, as well as an additional Headwood, but they're not needed. I bring up the Headwood, or at least I perform one of the rites onto the Headwood there. I get a nice little effect there. Castle gets hit, pretty much clear his board, and have enough units to kill off the castle. So, at that point, I was feeling pretty good. I came back from a pretty, I don't want to say super steep hill, but it was a pretty steep challenge for me to climb. And we do bring the win, so bringing the deck to 3-0. Pretty happy about that. So, yeah, I think I move into match number 4. So let's go ahead and jump into that next match. Alright, and so for the last of our weird little hybrid commentary ranked with red matches here, we are going up against Iron Will, who's rocking another Viking Ninja deck. We've seen pretty much two, I think, variants of decks today. Warlock Crusader and Viking Ninja. So we're going to go ahead and bring up the Lumberjack, since we just pulled it from the draw. I figured, hey, might as well throw that bad boy out there. I believe Iron Will responds with one of these stranger cards that I've seen today, that being Shield Runner, which I was very confused about. Not often you see the Shield Runner come out, and not often that aggressively either. He's looking to really hit the castle here. I go ahead, pull out the Imp to maybe see if I can get a Shield Runner burn, and maybe kill it off with the Imp to ignore it. I keep the Lumberjack back just in case things go south, where I probably could have been hitting the castle. Iron Will goes for a shifting technique onto this Shield Runner here. Boss my castle, brings up a Dwarven Construction to his hand, and pulls out another Shield Runner. So now I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on, because you got two Shield Runners, one of which got some spells on him. I do get the Imp burn on one of these Shield Runners, so that Imp will make that trade. I also end up bringing the Wizard out, I believe, because I don't think he's got the resources to really make that Shield Runner powerful until Flame Shield goes into that hand, and I get a bit worried. I believe from there, I still don't move the Lumberjack. For some reason, my mind was just like, yeah, get everything else out, but ignore the Lumberjack for some reason. Again, don't know why. It just happened to be like that. I'm sorry. But in response, he does go for the Flame Shield like I had predicted initially. I do get 3 more damage onto the castle. Another Shield Runner comes out, making that 3 in the span of 3 turns. I'm confused as all hell. And I think I go for the Wizard Arcfire takedown here because I don't really see another way to get that bad boy off right away. I could do swords, yes, and hold it, but I was maybe thinking about playing the priest, and I ended up just not doing it. I do finally move the lumberjack though to hit castle because I realized if this guy's just gonna go for castle, I might as well start doing some chip damage of my own. And of course, the wizard is a little bit threatened here, so I'm worried I made a mistake in his positioning, which I did. Ludicrous strength pops out from that bad boy. I do lose the whatchamacallit. I do lose the wizard, but I take a minute to, just collect myself here. I do bring back the lumberjack. I hit the shield runner to weaken it just by a little bit, and the numbers sort of pop into me eventually that I do have enough to make a Dancing Swords Priest kill here. I just bring out the Dancing Swords. I metal out a Priest to ensure Dancing Swords survives, and we of course kill that shield runner and put the Dancing Sword in a position to strike the castle. I believe at this point we do see Dragon Search, correct? That's the play of the game here. Or at least that's this play, right? Oh no, it's Double Sunflower. Yeah, so Double Sunflower comes out. Again, I'm still utterly confused by the deck at this point. There seems to be a whole lot of different elements here. Dragon Search does come into play. He does pull that Shadow Drake. We did see the Dwarven Construction become used, so must be, I guess maybe he didn't like the 19 damage on Castle, wanted the 20. Regardless, we do trade one of our swords into the Sunflower to start eliminating threats here because we know that he's only got 2 cards left in that hand. One of them being the Shadow Drake, of course. So, my idea is that if I just punish his resources, if I just keep him down in terms of what he's got on the board, he's not going to be able to recover. I bring out a Lumberjack and a Saw Golem looking to maybe Saurus into the next turn to not only power up the Golem further, but to make a cleaner kill with the Sunflower. I figured as much because Sunflower is going to go ahead and run all the way up for some reason. I think he really wanted some castle's damage for some reason. He just seemed to really want the castle. So I go ahead, throw out the Saurus, make Golem a bit more stronger here. And that does lead to a Lumberjack Saurus double team to take out the Shadow Drake. I don't know, or not the Shadow Drake, the Sunflower. I don't know where the Shadow Drake is, though. I find out it's right in front of me, and that has a free shot to my castle. I'm thinking to myself, there's no way he's going to OTK until I see the Shadow Katana. I panic. I see the Sifting Technique. I start to panic less. And he makes the attack without connecting a multi-strike. So, in my mind, I'm like, alright, this is great. We're going to make ourselves, hopefully we're going to pull ourselves out. I do see the Rat King, which I'm a little bit bummed out about. But, I mean, Rat King, I don't think is going to be able to make a whole lot of progress on the castle. Especially since, again, he only has 1 card. And that's the minor spell he just pulled from the Shadow Drake. So, I'm feeling a bit more confident now. I do bring out the Craxus to connect with one of these rats to get me some additional draw, and I think I make the Golem kill on the Shadow Drake just because I didn't want that thing to, I don't know, end the game. Yeah, I do hit that, and Craxus gives me some good things. I do see the right end Headwood from Craxus. I'm a bit happy about that. I believe he actually goes for, again, even more castle damage in this next turn. He actually connects the rats, which you'll see here in a moment. Actually, no, he does connect the rats. He brings out Magic Eater, though, to benefit from the spells that he's going to play. All of, I think, 1 spell, if I remember correctly. Rat King connects the castle. Yep, he wants even more damage because, why not? Another rat comes up, does his thing. I believe Eater... Yeah, it just hides up there. I'm going to end up arc firing that anyway. I could do it without even the use of a mage. I do play Headwood, though, just for, actually, no. Do I do... No, I think I trade with the rats first. Connect to there. I move wrong order I did this set. I probably should have put the Headwood down. I arc fire the Magic Eater because it's, of course, very weak at this point. And, of course, I throw it back to him. He's running out of both cards and options here. I think he ends up plundering the Headwood. And throwing out what else has he got? I know he does that. Oh, he doesn't even throw out anything else. So yeah, he throws out nothing except for the plunder. I do pull out the hand of the healing from Hand of the Saint to bring myself back up to show him that yeah, I don't think you're gonna win this one, pal. Even if you got that big damage lead earlier on in the game. I believe he decides to. I don't know if he blocks, right? Oh, he does block. Brings out the Shaman and the Ludicrous Strength combination. Now I remember that. He doesn't block the castle either. I believe he actually walks all the way up, right? Yeah, he walks up here to avoid Headwood connections. Doesn't really work out for him too well though, considering I can easily just do a crack. Well, I do bring out a Craxus hit. Does come in hit for face. I believe we do Saurus. Yep, additional damage. I probably should have focused on taking out the Shaman though. I do end up doing that though for this. Shaman does get killed off. Saurus moves in. Headwood, I believe, chills out, right? And then move a Darkbringer to just ensure that the game is over no matter what angle you look at it from. And that will give us our 4th win. So currently, deck sitting at a 4-0. I'll just go ahead and fast forward this because I think, yeah, he doesn't do anything else. Yep, there's a surrender. So we currently are sitting at 4-0 with this deck. We still have one more match, though, and that is our live match with the not-so-great Mike. You guys are going to end up seeing that one right now. So, with that being said, bit of an interesting deck. I think by the end of it, I figured out it was a Magic Eater deck. That was all I really said in the post game. Yeah, Magic Eater deck that just kind of was very aggressive, unnecessarily aggressive, and yeah, that kind of leaves us in our current situation. So, again, we have one more match to play. Let's see what happens in that last matchup. We're gonna bring that to you right now.
And what ranked with red would not be complete, or would be complete without facing Yoda in a round, at least a round. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep the Arcfire and the Rite of Awakening. I think those two are gonna help us. We'll go with the books. We'll have an Imp. We'll have an Arcfire, and we'll see what happens. Now this is, of course, um, uh, we're gonna finally do at least one match live with the with my regular ranked with red commentary. Audio is going to sound probably atrocious because I know a lot of people don't like this mic, but I don't really have another option right now. As I told you guys in the beginning, the original mic that I've used is going through a bit of a technical oof. So once I figure that out, or maybe I'll find a different mic completely. I'm not sure. But for now, we're gonna have to work with what we got here. So let's go for the imp to combat the Elvish Thief. Um, Hopefully I can get a burn on the Elvish Thief rather than Castle Burn. We weren't able to burn the Masuda in the first game. Okay, we got 2 Elvish Thieves. Fantastic. Can we burn at least one of them? Oh, we can. Look at that. Um, I'll go with a bit of Book's Imp to see if maybe he'll respond by hitting my Imp. That's a Magic Eater. Uh-oh. Alright. So he sacks the Eater in favor of disrupting my draw, which is good. Admirable. But also a little problematic for me. We'll see if I can recover. I have strong hopes that we will. Throw swords out. He will get. Ooh. He'll pull out that. Uh. Huh. I don't really have the mage present to burn that. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna try something. If I had the mage, we would have been able to do an arc fire. But we do not have. Well, we have Saurus. We don't have him out and enough gold to consider that as a play. Okay, that's a little rude. You got some. We don't have something for the other sword that's currently present on cat. All right. All right. Fair enough. He knew I would go for it, so it makes sense to do it like that. Let's go ahead and bring out a Headwood and see where that gets us. He's already lost 2 of his Magic Eaters, which is surprising. Oh, he's got Pirate, that's why. Pirate takes out Sword, Pirate gets gold. Right. For a additional Eater. Alright, he's not going to be able to really kill. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, and he'll do that too to avoid shiitake mushrooms. I can't reach that. Son of a gun. gotta give credit to where credit's due, though. That is an intelligent play. Oh, there's no way you should be able to disrupt this. All right, buddy. What do you got for me? Your 13 gold looking head ass. All right. Are we going to see an OTK? I doubt it. Hovel, that's not a spell. Oh, you sneaky devil. Fine. I see where you're playing at, amigo. Let's go with that. Let's go with that then. Bard. Alright, little buff to the boys. All we need is just one Saurus to hit to make that connection actually to Eater, I think. Nope, not what we wanted. Can we get a part 2? No, absolutely not. Because what does this game do? Decide to not help me. Yep, that sounds about right. Ah, god damn it. He wants the OTK. I could feel that. I could feel it in here, and I'm not so happy about it. That was a good play, though, diverting the... Oh. Oh, I forgot he had Burning Sun. Well, this is a big shame on multiple levels. Let's see if I can draw out the Kraxus kill. Come on! Come on, Yoda. It's all good, my guy. He's not gonna do it. He's not that stupid. Oh. Can I get a buff, though, please? Oh, Lord. Well, the obvious thing to do is hit Lumberjack to connect. Um, shoot. I'm gonna have to do that because the math doesn't work out too well. Oh, this is painful. And there's the blow I wasn't ready for. God damn it. The one card he top decked happened to be Scope. Game. I need this thing called a break every once in a while. You don't ever seem to cooperate and give it to me. Which is strange. It is very strange. Alright, oh, alright. Thank you. I would say we still have a decent lead. I need some good pulls from this. Those are not what I need. Like, how can I work with this? No, I have to sack this down here, right? All right, reinforced. What are you gonna give me? Right. Okay. Doable. I can use it in tandem with the big boy. I don't know where you're gonna. All right, you're gonna push me up. Fair. And I guess we can do. Can do that. I guess to block. I don't know. I don't know. We probably should not have gone after the dwarven sharpshooter at the very beginning of the game, but granted, there were some top pulls from Yoda that I was not happy about. Boy pulling a dwarven scope the moment that Mordok is out in the field. The ambush, dude, that was good. Oh well. I'm not really getting the necessary top pulls either that I need. Perfect castle heal. I don't have enough, so let's do that. I don't think this is gonna work out. I think Yoda's gonna be our loss here, which is fine. We're allowed to have one, right? For the deck, that's still good, still positive. I hope. All right, he'll get. Oh wait, when did he get the reinforce? I haven't been paying attention. Oh, he just probably pulled off the sharpshooter. I see he's got the shifting technique. That makes sense. Bro, if I had chain, oh my word, what a play that would be. I don't have it though. I don't have it. Oh look, I could have used you quite a couple times in this in this run. Um, Lord. Mordok probably could have been a bit more useful earlier on, but that's fine. Do what we can, Chief. I think that's it from me. All right. So 4-1, not completely bad, I would say. I mean, I would like to have gone 5-0, but I'd say 4-1 is still positive win, right? Yoda, just end it. Yoda, I saw the low-key BM. All right, so that's fine. What do we got? 3376. Actually, not bad. Pretty close to 3400, which we might have been able to do if I had won this last match. But I'm still happy with this. I think we were in maybe the 3200s last season. So yeah, definitely an overall better looking rank than last season. So but overall, I think that is a good place to end for today. So let's go ahead and jump, or let's close this video out. I guess is the proper thing I should be saying. Let's go. Let's do that.
And with that being said, I hope you did enjoy this edition of Ranked with Red. Again, despite how much of a hybrid and how weird the overall presentation with it, I hope you guys didn't get too discouraged by that, and hope you enjoyed the gameplay. I really thought the Awaken deck did well this season. Not going 5-0, no, but we were able to squeak out at least 4, and we did get higher in the rankings with that deck, so I can't be too upset with that. So overall, I think that this was a pretty good season for that Awaken deck. And yeah, that's gonna be hopefully the end. Well, that'll be where it lies this season. But if you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to give it a like. If you enjoyed it, be sure to share with your friends. Of course, subscribe if you are new or haven't done so already to the channel. Show your support just by clicking that subscribe button. No extra cost to you. It is the best way to support the channel after all. And yeah, with that being said, that's gonna do it for me for now. So Until next time, guys, stay gaming.